Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Shawty, you got me in love. 20/20 vision, I can see it from above. No way, this is lust, baby, this is trust. This is us, I can see you falling, I could be your crush. You my crush, never taking L's, we just taking dubs. Only is, never was, cause you bad like that.
Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. You're a little crooked. There we go, much better. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be doing another book video, which I feel like we haven't done in a long time, so much needed to get some more book content on the channel. Today, we're going to be doing something I'm very excited about. I've done this one other time on the channel with the Chestnut Spring series, but we're going to be doing Cowboy's Wife Reads Cowboy Romances. If you don't know, my husband is a team roper. He's a rodeo cowboy. We have horses. I figure I am one of, if not the most qualified person to read cowboy romance and tell you what I think. I've been married to my cowboy for 8 years in October, 7 years. We've been together for 8 years. Wow, she does math really well. Anyway, so we're gonna be reading, I think, Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled. I don't know who they're by. I just know that they're big cowboy romance titles, which I usually don't read cowboy romance because I'm like living it, and I feel like they sometimes are not exactly how they should be. When I read these, this is what I do. I have two scales. I have enjoyment scales, so I rate it out of 5 on how I enjoyed it, and then I have accuracy scale out of 5, like how accurate is what's going on in the books. These are going to be a little bit spoilery. I don't think that you need to worry too much, but I am going to talk about some of the plot points, and if I do talk about the plot points, I'll let you know that I'm going to spoil you so you can skip ahead. But I like to talk about kind of the representation of the Western lifestyle and how accurate it is in these. That way you guys can know if you're getting like a good depiction of Western life or not, or cowboys and all of that good stuff, which I've got to say, as much as I love my cowboy, most cowboys are rowdy, ridiculous, and not someone I would recommend my friends date. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will, any cowboy romance. But we are gonna head on over to Barnes and go pick up our books. We like making risky choices today. I'm at the Barnes that kicked me out for recording. If you haven't seen that video, it's pretty funny. It's with my husband. I am going to go in here without the mic and tripod on my camera to try and get B-roll, and we'll see. We'll see what we get. Let's go get our cowboy books. As the kids say these days, bag secured. Hello, we are back from Barnes & Noble, and I got our girlies, Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled. So I am giving the receipt because if I can't make it through the first one, then I am not going to read the second one. I think that's what I'm saying right now, but who knows? I love torture. So if these are bad in a funny way, then maybe I'll keep going. I don't know. I don't know where I stand on it. I don't know how I feel. I can't decide if I think they're gonna be good or bad. I've heard mixed things, some good, some bad. I've heard people that I don't really trust their book taste liked them. I've heard people that I do trust liked them. I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. So we're gonna start with number 1. This is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage, and let me read you the back. I'm going into this with basically no knowledge. I don't even think I've ever read the synopsis for this. So, for the first time in her life, Clementine Emmy Ryder has no idea what she's doing. She's accomplished everything on her to-do list. She left her small hometown of Meadow Lark, Wyoming, went to college, and made a career for herself by doing her favorite thing, riding horses. But after an accident makes it impossible for her to get back into the saddle, she has no choice but to return to her hometown she always wanted to escape. Luke Brooks is Meadowlark's most notorious bad boy, bar owner and bachelor. He's also the unofficial 5th member of the Ryder family. As Emmy's older brother's best friend, Luke spent most of his childhood antagonizing her. It's been years since he's seen her, but when she walks into the bar and back into his life, he can't take his eyes off her. Against his better judgment, he wants to do a whole lot more than just look at her. Emmy's got too much on her mind to think about romance, and Luke knows she should stay away from his best friend's younger sister. But what if Luke is just what Emmy needs to get her spark back? Or will they both go up in flames? This is interesting that she actually was a, does she say, they say trainer? It just says riding horses. If she's a trainer, that'll be interesting. I have a lot of horse industry knowledge. Obviously, I own horses, I ride. My husband's a rodeo cowboy. I'm gonna be able to tell you if this is like legit or not. Like it's kind of, I feel like usually they write these books where the girl is not from the area the guy is. And that kind of gives them an out so that they can write from that female perspective that doesn't really know anything. And they're able to like scoot around saying things or doing things that aren't truly like what would happen or you would say. But this one, her being someone who rides horses, either a trainer or whatever, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I'm reading the front. It's saying that she has ADHD and that this book is for ADHD representation. That makes me happy because, hi, I've also have ADHD. I see the first one says dusted, and it's like giving a definition, Western slang verb to be thrown from a horse. I am very much part of the Western community. I don't feel like I've ever heard anyone actually use that term, dusted. But we'll see, you know, we'll see. We're gonna dive into this and hopefully we like this and then we get into book 2. I can't remember what book 2 is about. I literally didn't even read the backs of these in Barnes & Noble. I was just like, we're doing this. Also the covers, guys, they are so cute. Okay, chapter 1, and I already have something to say. So she's a barrel racer and is leaving the barrel racing circuit is what they're calling it to do this, which I mean, that is what you would call it, the barrel circuit. I'm interested if there's some things that could not be consistent. One of them is when you're a barrel racer, you own your own horse and like no one's backing you. And so when she came home, it keeps saying that she had her truck. She should have had a horse trailer too, because she would be owning the horse that she was riding. And if she didn't own it and like a sponsor owned it, which is happening a little bit more frequently now, or like you were riding it for someone, like they were paying you to ride it. That's not usually how you would like make it on the circuit unless you were a really big name. Like those opportunities don't really present themselves to smaller people. So like usually she would have not just a horse, but maybe 3 horses that she's owning, that she's running around. And it's not saying anything about those, which is interesting. Also, I did like that she said like she's wearing cowboy boots that should never be within 10 feet of a horse. Yeah, that's a dress boot instead of a boot you would actually ride a horse in. I think that was a good touch because that's, okay, true. It's hitting the markers. Being a barrel racer is an interesting path to take because I feel like it's going to be hard to accurately like portray that because there is a lot of details. And also barrel racers are some of the toughest girls I've ever met. I would not fuck with a barrel racer. I don't know if you're from rodeo communities, you know, like they are the toughest, most badass, most amazing. I don't know. I just think they're so fucking cool. And I mean, obviously there's bad ones just like everybody else. But they're known for being like kind of honestly people you don't fuck with, in my opinion, barrel racers. So it'll be interesting to see how that's depicted in here. What else? Oh, one last thing. Weird she's living in an apartment in Denver. If you're a horse girl, you're not living in an apartment. You're not boarding horses, especially if you're a barrel racer, like a professional barrel racer. You're not boarding your horses somewhere and living separate from them. They're living with you. 1,000,000% they are living with you. Also, Denver. Why Denver? Why would you need to live in Denver? Like I don't understand why you would leave Wyoming to go to Denver for rodeo purposes. That doesn't really check out, but maybe we'll learn more. Also, badass that she broke up with her boyfriend over a Post-it note. Okay, let's go. Continue reading. Bye. Page 20. Page 24. And dare I say it? I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I'm kicking my feet. What an update. What a turn of events. Chapter 7, page 67, girlies. Let's talk. Why is this working for me? Okay, so the horse thing has been addressed. She claims that she left in such a hurry that she didn't have time to transport her horse, which I just don't believe. Like, I would never leave somewhere. It's okay. It makes a little bit of sense. And she does mention that she owns a horse trailer, which if she didn't own one, I'd be like red flags everywhere, but she does. Her horse's name is Maple, which should be a jailable offense. That's a choice sentiment from someone whose horse's name is Ping Pong. That's me. My horse's name is Ping Pong. So, you know, I guess I don't really have room to talk, but Maple's a dumb name. Just the balls on me to openly say that when I'm fully admitting my horse's name is Ping Pong. The ranch checks out. The riding lessons on Shetland ponies? I don't know about that. I don't know many ranches that have Shetland ponies, but I'll let it slide. That can be, you know, that can be just a Rebel Blue Ranch thing. Everything else, it's checking out. Also, dare I say it, I'm kicking my feet. I am swooning over here. I love this. It's so cute. I'm feeling all the summer vibes. Topo Chico, a cutesy little romance. I'm really loving this, and if this lives up to the hype I've seen, like I'm telling you, I had no expectations for this. I did not think I was going to like this. I did not think I was going to be having fun, but so far I am, and I love our main guy. I love our main girl so far. I don't know, so far cute. I'm live, laugh, loving. I am live, laugh, loving. And I'm literally gonna get right back to reading this because I'm having that much fun. And what a great way to spend a sunny, cute little day. Okay, so I haven't made it too much farther. We're only on page 91 now. I just made it through the first big moment where we're seeing what's wrong with her and why she's no longer riding. I've gotta say, I feel like for someone who grew up on a ranch, even if you have a family member that like passed away in a riding accident, which they do, it should take a lot. I don't know, you take a lot of falls, you get thrown a lot, and you've probably had some wrecks in your life. Like it's a little bit abnormal, I feel like, that she's not used to that, or that this is her first big wreck, I guess. Maybe it's not, and we learn more about it, I don't know. So that's the only thing that's a little bit strange. I thought the first scene with, I don't want to spoil this. She has anxiety, right, about riding. And the first scene regarding her anxiety, it was a little too much too fast for me, maybe. I feel like she wouldn't have usually asked Brooks to help her the way she did, but maybe I'm wrong because he is like basically like she grew up with him. He's her brother's best friend, so maybe that's not that weird. But aside from that, I'm still having the time of my life, kicking my feet, screaming. I love it, it's cute. Right now I'm going to make some lunch because I'm starving, and then we're gonna dive back in. But so far I'm liking it, and I mean 91 pages in, we're fully in this. Update, page 200, done and dusted. I just read a spicy scene that should be jail time. And it went on for what some felt like forever. And I promise I don't hate every spicy scene I read, but just, I don't know if it's like recently there's like a certain trend in them that I'm like, what is this? Like what am I reading right now? Anyway, moving forward, things are going well. We're still enjoying the book, okay? Honest opinions. I am very pleasantly surprised by this, guys. Like, I did not think I was gonna like this as much as I have. Spicy scene was not for me, but that's fine. I'm liking the rest of it, and dare I say it, I'm really excited for the next book, for Swift and Saddled. And I'm even more excited for the one that's still yet to be published, that she's been talking about, but I'm excited about this. And I have 120 pages left. We're gonna try and knock it out. Let's go. What? You what? You did what? Page 236 for anyone wondering what that reaction is about. Lila Sage, listen to me right now. You're doing a great job depicting my people, and I'm really loving it. I think you're doing good. I was kicking my feet. There have been moments in this book, specifically spicy scenes, that have made me question what I am reading. And for that reason, I don't like, what did I just read? Yeah, after that scene, I had to sit out for a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. There was, I'm just gonna say it, he spit in her mouth. And I still am having a hard time processing that, and it's been a few days. One thing's for sure, never gonna forget that. We'll never forget reading that. Okay, we braked for dinner. We broke for dinner. Braked? We took a break for dinner. Watched One Piece, and now we're back. We're gonna give the killing blow to Done and Dusted, guys. Let's go. Okay, a couple rodeo-related errors I want to mention before I keep reading and forget. First of all, earlier I mentioned that since she was raised on a ranch, she should have been like thrown off lots of horses in her life and been used to being in wrecks. And she does end up saying later that she had been thrown off a lot, and for whatever reason, this injury was the worst. Now, at the end, there's a big race scene when she gets comfortable riding again. And there's a couple things. They keep calling them racers. In rodeo, you would never call a barrel racer a racer. You would just call them a barrel racer. We don't say racer. That's just not something we would ever say. Number two, they say that the gun goes off for them to barrel race. Like they start it with a gunshot. That is not how barrel racing is started. Like ever. Lastly, in the barrel racing scene, it says the most efficient way to make the cloverleaf pattern, you go to the right barrel first. That's not true. In barrel racing, you can go to the right or left barrel, and every horse and rider has their own barrel that they go to. Some horses always go right. Like it's not even like a rider thing. It's like more of a horse thing from what I understand. Like some riders like to go right, but the horse like works better to the left. Like it literally doesn't matter which way you go. Like either way. Another thing is like the WPRA, which is a real organization, which I think is so cool. They included that in here. The Women's Pro Rodeo Association. They would never like call you on the phone and ask you to come to something. Like they don't care if you're there or not. You sign up online and you enter up. And if you don't show up, then you get like fees. Like you get fined basically. So yeah, they don't really care if you're there. They don't care what you're doing, and they're not going to call you to ask you to enter something. And one more thing, at one point Emmy says that barrel racing is the only event in rodeo where horsemanship is not scored and it's based on times. That is just straight up not true. Like literally every event in rodeo is based on times. Like there's rough stock events that like where you have to stay on for 8 seconds, and in the rough stock events your riding is judged. But literally every event where you are riding a horse to do a job, your horsemanship is not judged. It is all timed events. So that is blatantly untrue and probably could have been checked with like just a quick Google search. She did great at some aspects. She's doing great at some aspects, like including the WPRA, or you know, saying like, oh, these cowboy boots are made for going out, and these are, but there's like a lot of rodeo flaws that I'm seeing in this book, which obviously like to someone who's never been a part of the rodeo community, you would not know this. And I can also understand like it might be hard to find information because the rodeo community is not, it's not something that like you can just go get into unless you know somebody that's in it, kind of, which is, might sound weird, but it's the truth. But definitely for me as a rodeo person, like reading that, I'm like, ugh, that's not correct. Also, if this is someone's first like entry into like barrel racing or something, like I want them to know, even though it seems like nitpicky things probably if you're not a rodeo person, they feel like big things to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but okay, anyways, we're gonna continue. Live from my nightstand, we just finished Done and Dusted, 11:21 p.m. What do I think about Done and Dusted? I'm like hesitant to give a numbered review for this book because every time I do that right after I read a book, I end up wanting to change it, but it's feeling like a high 3-star. Let me explain this to you. I do not like to give books half stars, 0.25s, 0.5s. Like I don't like to do that because I feel like if we're gonna do that, we might as well just rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. Like what's the point of a 5-star scale if we're not going to rate them on the 5-star scale? So I try not to give like 0.25s or half stars, but I'll say it's a high 3 or a low 3. This for me is a high 3. Now, I don't know if I would give it a 4 because I've read a lot of really amazing romance that I put in my 4 category. 5 is like, it's very hard to be a 5-star book. You know, that's like your golden tier. This was good, but it wasn't the most amazing thing I've also read, and it also wasn't the worst thing I've ever read. It was really good. I feel like the actual romance was great. Now, the smut, I could do without. I didn't super love the spicy scenes in this book. I didn't like the way they were written. I'm really sorry, Lila Sage, because I feel like you did a great job and this is a debut novel, and I don't want to say anything mean, but I just couldn't. There was some stuff in here that I was like, couldn't believe it was happening. But so I didn't super love the spicy scenes. Could have done without it, and that kind of took it down. And then also, I kind of hate dual POV romance. This was better than a lot of the ones I've read, but I think it takes away from the romantic tension and some of the mystery, so I wish it wasn't that as well. But high 3 stars. As far as the Western elements go, I'm gonna give a 3 out of 5 stars as well. I feel like there were some things she did good, and for a while there I was like, oh, I don't think there's gonna be any mistakes. But it was really when we got to the rodeo scenes that I was like, girl, no. Like the sport barrel racing, I feel like she didn't do, like when she described rules or anything like that, it wasn't spot on. I kind of talked about that with you guys already, so I'm not going to go back into it. So, you know, I don't know. She also was very clever in the way that she did dual POV. When Emmy was racing, they would go to Luke's POV. That way she didn't have to describe what Emmy was doing, which was, I think, pretty smart. I am ready now to move on to book number 2, which is Swift and Saddled, but I'm not going to do it tonight because it's kind of late. So tomorrow we will start Swift and Saddled, and maybe I know it is quite a bit shorter than this book. That book was 320 pages. I think this one's 270 something. Another super cute cover, and this is Wes's book. This is Emmy's brother Wes. So she has 2 brothers, Gus and Wes. This is Wes's book with the designer of the inn he's doing, which is interesting. She is one of Emmy's friends. And then the last book, which is Lost and Lassoed, it comes out in November, is Gus's book with, I'm assuming, Emmy's best friend, Teddy, who loves to fight with Gus. But, okay, I am going to go to sleep, and then we will catch up in the morning when I've read some Swift and Saddled. Hello, vlog. It is Saturday. Literally, it's been like a whole day since we've chit-chatted. I've missed you. Are you okay? Are you good? Okay, good. We celebrated Mother's Day, me and my mom and my sisters today, so that's why I was like out and about. We swam in the pool, we went to brunch, it was literally so good, and now it's the ripe hour. Did I just have a stroke? It's the ripe hour of 7 p.m. or something. I don't know. And we are 45 pages into Swift and Saddled. I kind of match the cover right now. That was not on purpose, but I love that that's the case. Okay, 45 pages in. What do we think? What do we think, guys? What do we think? Maybe this is controversial, and I'm sorry if it is, but I think I like Ada better than Emmy. I don't know. Emmy, I felt like what she was working through wasn't that exciting. Like, it wasn't like relationship stuff. It was like horse related, if that makes sense. And I guess she worked through stuff to get with, what's his name? Luke? But like, I don't know, okay? And to be clear, I don't think I ever like finally, maybe I did finish telling you guys my thoughts, but I'm gonna just kind of refine my thoughts now that I've had like a full day to sit on this. The spicy scenes in this book were, in my opinion, not great. I really didn't like them. I don't want to hate on them too hard because I did love the rest of the book and I loved the cowboy elements and I actually was having fun reading this. Now, I did talk a little bit about how the Western like elements weren't perfect in a lot of aspects, like especially the rodeo aspects, but I still really liked it and I thought it was pretty good for, I'm thinking she's not someone from the rodeo community. Like, I was impressed by the things that she included, like the WPRA and other things. Like, it did better than Chestnut Springs. Better than Chestnut Springs, okay? And I thought their little love story was cute. I liked Luke, I liked Emmy, but like the sex scenes, not for me. And I ended up rating this 3 stars. And it wasn't insanely deep or anything like that. It was just a cute, fun little romance. If the spicy scenes were not terrible, I think this would have been a 4-star read for me. Okay, moving on though. Ada. First of all, Ada is so cute. Like, I love her style. I think she's adorable. She already has more layers than Emmy had, with her past marriage going awry. Basically the setup for this book, I can't remember if I read the synopsis or not, but I'm going to tell you. Weston, which is Emmy's brother, is in charge of creating a guest ranch experience on Rebel Blue, and he is redoing an old building on the property and hired a designer for it. He got the designer from Teddy, who is Emmy's best friend. Teddy went to school with this girl, Ada, connects them, and they've been emailing for like a year about the project, right? Well, Ada in chapter 1 goes to Devil's Boot, which is like the dive bar in this series, and sees a cute cowboy, kisses him, leaves her bag there, then has to go on the project to meet Wes, the cowboy that she's about to be working for. Well, it turns out that Weston is the guy that she kissed in the bar. And oh my gosh, now they have to work together for like 6 months or something, I don't know, on this. This is like her first really big job. So, kind of a cute setup. I wasn't sure what I was gonna feel. I was really excited about Weston's book because Weston is like a golden retriever. That's literally how he's described. He's blonde with dimples and he's just a good guy. And he like, in the first book, he's like always taking care of his sister. We love him, okay? I'm a fan. So I think this is gonna be really sweet. And I mean, 45 pages in, and I thought like when he found out that the designer was the person that he kissed at the bar that he would be like, oh, we cannot do this. Exact opposite. He was like, oh, frick yeah, I love her already. Like, I'm in love with her. Like, where do I sign? And she's the one that's like, nope, I had a terrible marriage. Please, no. So I'm really excited to keep reading. And like, so far I'm liking this one. And I think I'm going to like it more than Done and Dusted. Could this be 4 stars? That's what I'm hoping, is that this will be 4 stars. And then the last one is going to be Lost and Lassoed, which is Gus and Teddy's book, who Gus and Teddy hate each other. And we love that. We love an enemies to lovers plotline. Gus is also a single dad, so it'll be single dad trope, which I don't usually like. Not a fan, but you just can't have this cowboy romance series without a single dad trope in there. I guess not. But anyway, okay, so I'm going to dive back in. Like I said, 45 pages in. It's looking good so far. I'm very optimistic. Is this going to be my whole personality? Probably. Anyways, okay. Reading literature for my people. Let's go. Page 88 check-in. My hair is just getting more and more disheveled every time I check in. Something I love about these books is the earth-shatteringly specific, perfect description of Tractor Supply. Like, I have never heard someone describe Tractor Supply so perfect. Like, I never thought that I would appreciate that so much, but I'm reading this and I'm like, she's in Tractor Supply and she's describing it exactly as it is. And I'm just like in my head in Wickenburg at Tractor Supply. And I just can't, I'm sure most girls that read this probably have never even been in a Tractor Supply or don't realize it is a real place, but there is something so real, so comforting about a good description of Tractor Supply. Like, I don't know how to explain it any other way. And then the other thing, I feel like the characters just have more layers in this. Like, I really like Wes. We just had a moment in the car where he just tells her that he has, I think it's major depressive disorder. I think that's the full name, but he literally is going to pick up his depression medication and it tells her. And we hear a little bit about her divorce, and I don't know, I'm just like really liking the layers unpacking. Also, they're kind of like fighting a little and it's giving kind of golden retriever black cat, and I really like it. Like, I really like it for some reason. I'm liking this a lot more than this. Like, this is much better. I really want to, I don't know, the Tractor Supply scenes, if you're a kid who grew up rurally, it has your heart. Like, you know that feeling of going with your dad to Tractor Supply. 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and you're at Tractor Supply in whatever outfit you found because you need to go get something early in the morning. Like, I don't know, there's just like a certain feeling, and you're like wandering through the clothing aisle. They've got random things. You're like, you find a cute hoodie, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just, it has my heart. It has my, I don't know, it has a special place in my heart. So, really appreciate that, Lila Sage. And I'm ready to dive back in. We're going to keep going. Page 88. Okay, I just finished reading chapter 16. We're on page 141. And I just had to pause and say, cowboy jousting, rope jousting is a real thing. And the fact that she included it in here, I'm like very impressed. My husband's a team roper. Him and his cowboy buddies, they rope joust basically every single time they're together. Every single time they're together. Usually, they like to fudge the numbers and make up new rules so that nobody can win and love to cheat. And the fact that, like, I bet if you were reading this, you were like, they don't actually do that. This is so, cowboy jousting, this is so dumb. No, literally they do. No, literally they do actually do that. And they do actually do it all the time. And the amount of times I have had to keep score of a cowboy jousting game, you don't even want to know. When I first met my husband, all he wanted to do was rope my feet while I walked. That's all he wanted to do, everywhere we went, all the time, with his little play rope. The only thing about it is that I have never heard someone call it a lasso in my entire life. You just call it a loop, a rope, throw your loop. You would never say lasso. No one says that. But the fact that cowboy jousting is in here, really funny and really interesting and accurate. Okay, Lila. Okay, Lila. Like, how do you know my life? I'm very impressed. Hello, guys. Today is actual Mother's Day, and we just got back from the zoo with Ethan's mom. Now, I'm gonna get in my swing and read what we have left of Swift and Saddled. So far, really liking this, so hopefully that remains true through the rest of the book. We'll see. I'm having a feeling this might be a 4-star. It could be a 4-star. Coming at you live from my bed, and I have some bittersweet news. It is the end of our journey together here on this video. I just finished Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage, and I'm here to report that Miss Girl figured out how to write a sex scene that doesn't make me want to gag. And Lila, thank you for that. Remarkable. She took the notes and she said, let me fix, and she did. And this was far superior. There was still a couple points where I was like, eh, but I think that's just romance in general. If it doesn't, like, there will always be parts where you're just you're a little shocked. You're a little, you know. This was a great book. This was way better than the first one. I think I would give this 4 out of 5 stars, guys. Character's great. I really like Ada better than Emmy. Like, I feel like she's more interesting. I also liked, like, their background to their relationships and, like, the layers the characters had. I feel like there was more going on here than in the first book. I think the best book is for sure gonna be Teddy and Gus, which, if you've read the first 2 books, you know Teddy and Gus are, like, enemies, but in, like, a very, like, they're in love way. And the setup for their books is gonna be a maid of honor best man situation from what we just read in this, which isn't really a spoiler if you've read the first one. I think you can probably put it together, but I wasn't sure until I got to the end of this book. And I love that setup. A ranch wedding, and that's gonna be so cute. Comes out at the end of 2024, so we have a while. Maybe I'll apply for the arc on NetGalley. I liked these that much. These are by far the best cowboy romances I've read, and this one, I know in the back of the book she thanks a ranch that she went and stayed at and says that she hit send on, like, her manuscript from that ranch, and I think she must have done even more research on Montana cowboys and stuff, because I feel like she really nailed a lot of things here. Her description of Tractor Supply, the cowboy jousting, just, like, I feel like she got a lot of things right in this one, and it felt even more real and true to the lifestyle, and I can only say I love that so much, and I really appreciate that. I can't wait for the 3rd one. Lila, I'm very impressed. I have not read many cowboy romances that actually make sense. Actually, I don't think I've read any that are, like, that get it right and, like, are a good example of the lifestyle. And while I'm not gonna say this is, like, a historical fiction to the highest degree of Western lifestyle, it is very good. She did a great job, and I'm very impressed with her. And if she didn't grow up on a ranch, she should be proud of herself because she's doing a good job. So 4 stars on this one, 3 stars on Done and Dusted. That is my review. That is Rodeo Cowboy's wife reads cowboy romance. I'm so glad we got to spend the weekend together. I will see you guys in the next video. Hit subscribe, leave me comments, let me know, have you read these? Are they on your shelf? Are you gonna read them now that I've reviewed them? What did you think of my takes? If you're a Western girly, what are your thoughts? Have you read them? Let me know in the comments. All right, I will see you guys in the next video or somewhere else on the internet, wherever I find you first. Peace.
You got me in love. 20/20 vision, I can see it from above. No way, this is lust, baby, this is trust. This is us. I can see you falling, I could be your crutch. You my